In today's video, I'm going to show you how to mix a female pop vocal from scratch, step by step, to get that clean, bright, upfront vocal you hear on chart-topping tracks. So whether you're working in Logic Pro, FL Studio, Pro Tools, or any other DAW, the techniques I'm about to show you are universal. So let's hop right in. Alright, so let's listen to the before and after of this vocal.
The world's in a constant rush, always trying to measure up. No, that ain't my vibe, yeah, I'm just trying to ride. You gotta leave.
First thing I like to do is to level out the vocals, which I've already done in this project. As you can see, there's about a 3 dB boost, just so that the vocal is consistent from beginning to end. That way your compressor is not doing all the heavy lifting. And then I'll also identify open spaces where there is silence, and a quick way to do that is just to hit Control X and then just adjust the threshold to grab the parts of the vocals that you want to keep and delete and eliminate the vocals that you don't want. The next step was to do a high pass filter at 100 Hz just to remove all forms of buddiness, rumble that might have bled into the mic. Followed by that is the Pultec EQ by Waves. I did a 3 dB boost at 10 kHz. And then I followed up with the SSL channel, where I also did a 3 dB boost at 8 kHz. Then I followed up with another channel strip plugin. This is the Vertigo VSS2 by Plugin Alliance, where I did another boost at 10K. And then I ran it through a tube saturator where I'm doing about a 34% drive. And then it's set to pentode versus tritode. And basically just did another high pass filter at 100 Hz. And then followed by that, I did a debreath. So in the beginning, yes, I did do some editing over here to remove some noise and all of that, but versus going in there and just editing each breath, I thought it was just easier to use this plugin, which I then set to about -10.4. And then this plugin is pretty aggressive and it does add some volume, so I'll put in that disclaimer. The idea here is to bring the vocal forward, but at the same time controlling those peaks coming in. So the RVox is really good at that, by keeping the vocal just up front and center in your face without jumping out too much from the music. And then last but not least, I did the de-esser, because obviously with all the compression at each phase, we introduce some, harsh S's. Sometimes I'll use 2 de-essers, but in this song, I only stuck to 1. So let's listen to the before and after of this. So this is with the processing.
The world's in a constant rush, always trying to measure up. No, that ain't my vibe, yeah, I'm just trying to ride. You gotta learn to...
Alright, so it's sitting nicely on top of the mix, but obviously it's very dry. And so I had to get a little bit creative, and I did get creative with this one by introducing a little bit of reverb. And I really love this plugin by Plugin Alliance. It's fairly new. It's called Utopia. So let's just listen to what that is doing.
The world's in a constant rush, always trying to measure up. No, that ain't my vibe, yeah, I'm just trying to ride.
So there's, as you can hear, there's like a 2-second tail. So the decay is set to 2.3 seconds, which I started off by just using a preset called Gospel Session. And, it came with this post EQ, so you don't really need to EQ the vocal. And it's got this shimmer effect. So if you listen to what that does.
You gotta learn to chill. You got a lot of love to give. Let's fall back in line and find out why.
So I just set that to taste. And I like to process my vocals in layers, whether it is compression, EQ, and also reverb. So just like I would layer all my processing, I also like to layer the vocal effects as well, because I feel like it just gives it gives me more control as far as the tone is concerned. So followed by that, so let me bypass this so you can hear what the slap delay is doing. Slap delay always works. It just, sometimes that's all you need with a vocal.
The world's in a constant rush, always trying to measure up. No, that ain't.
So I went with a widening effect, which you would normally put on backup vocals. But I wanted this vocal to feel full and in your face, but at the same time, give it a sense of depth and space. And I felt like this, by using my ear, this pretty much did the job. And then I normally I'll do parallel compression, but I didn't do it in this specific song because I felt the RVox and these layers of compression, pretty much did the job. The vocal is not drowning in the mix, it's staying present, so it worked out perfectly. And then I went with a short verb. It's called by Reverb. So let's listen to what that sounds like.
No, that ain't my vibe, yeah, I'm just trying to ride. You gotta learn to chill.
So it's very subtle. I was going for a very dreamy style vocal, to put a lot of ambience around it. And so yeah, the combination of the Utopia plugin and the Reverb is just doing the job. And then last but not least, so this is, instead of just going to a normal delay plugin, I decided to use the Space Rider. It's another plugin that I love by Waves because it allows me to run delay into reverb. So listen to that.
Baby, I'm just trying to ride. You gotta learn to.
Because normally what a lot of people would do is they'll put a delay plugin followed by the reverb plugin and set the mix knob of the reverb plugin to where you can kind of hear both of the delay and the reverb at the same time. And Space Rider just takes out, that entire process. I literally just put it on there and it sounds amazing. So let's listen to everything together.
Back in line and find out why we're alive. We're more than 9 to 5. We're more than just a grind. Let's just slow it down and find our inner ground. This is deeper than just a struggle.
I like to use multiple plugins on a vocal chain instead of relying on just one plugin to do all the work. Each plugin handles a specific task, whether it's adding dynamics, adding clarity, or warmth to the vocal. This way, each processor works efficiently and effectively, and this way I can fine-tune the vocal without overloading one plugin. It gives me more control and a polished vocal sound overall. So this is it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think, and look out for more videos in the future.